In the 1960s, we grew up in a neighborhood which had discovered the great custom of luminaria for Christmas Eve. And so it was a tradition to go to whichever neighbor was organizing it, pick up the bags and the candles needed to prepare, go home, get things ready, set them out on the sidewalk and on the steps in typical Western Pennsylvania fashion, which led up to the house. There was something quite transformative and beautiful about seeing the whole neighborhood lighted in this way. All the sidewalks, all the steps, all the houses, brightening that Christmas Eve night, bringing a sense of warmth and community, lighting the way for the coming of the Christ child. It was magical as a child to walk through that neighborhood and to see that spectacle of light. So it was those childhood memories which informed my desire to recreate something like this when the folks at Sheldon Calvary Camp decided we would celebrate Christmas in July. So I procured the bags, the Lake Erie sand, the candles, and set out to make luminaria that would light the pathway from the chapel to the bridge leading to the cabins after a chapel service on that supposed Christmas in July night. Turns out that it's a lot less fun and edifying to put sand that has been absorbing the sun and is therefore hot into bags while sitting on a porch which is being bombarded by sunshine on a day that's 80 degrees and the candles are beginning to melt a little bit, and halfway through you realize it takes a lot of candles to light this pathway, and who thought this was a good idea? Anyway, thankfully, by the time night fell and the chapel service ended, with the help of an amazing maintenance crew, the campers did, in fact, experience the beauty of a pathway lighted by those candles, the light shining in the night and in the darkness, a pathway for the love of Christ. The writer of the Gospel of John tells the Christmas story as a story of light. The word that was spoken, "Let there be light," in the very beginning of creation, now comes to dwell in human flesh among us. The true light which enlightens everyone was coming into the world. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. We cherish candlelight in this Christmas season, in the beauty of our churches, in the comfort of our homes. We bask in this light which brings beauty and peace to the season. Candlelight is a significant symbol in our life together at Calvary Camp as well. At the end of each camping session, on the night before campers go home, we end our chapel service with the lighting of candles. Each camper receives a small candle. The chapel is plunged into complete darkness, and you hear the gasps of children who are surprised by this for the first time. Then we talk a little bit about carrying the light of Christ into the world, about bringing the good news and the love that we share so that it may be shared with others, so that the darkness of the world might be touched by the light that we know together in that sacred space. One by one, the candles are lighted down the rows of the chapel across so that every single candle has light. It's quite a beautiful thing to stand at the front of that chapel and to see that light reflected on the faces of these campers, and to see that chapel go from darkness to a warm and glowing space. When all the candles have been lighted, we walk from the chapel to where the cabins are. Some nights, it's perfectly clear and calm and bright, and nearly everyone is able to carry their candle still lighted to put in the shape of a cross in front of their cabins. Some nights, though, are filled with gusty wind or a little bit of drizzle or something that makes it very difficult to sustain the light. People cover and shield and hold their candles, and somehow, even on the most challenging of evenings, some light manages to make it so that the candles can again be lighted and the cabins can be illuminated from the outside with this light. The Gospel of John tells us that we are called, as John the Baptist was, to testify to this light coming into the world, to light those candles and to bear them with us as we go out into the world, so that people may see reflected from us the light which has come into the world. Sometimes, for us, it's easy for those candles to burn bright and steady and clear in our witness to the love of God made real in the world. Sometimes there are crosswinds which get in the way of that light, which make us struggle to retain the light of that small candle. Crosswinds of division, gusts of unexpected things which catch us by surprise and threaten to extinguish the light. Somewhere, always in the community of faith, we find the spark, the one candle still burning that helps us to rekindle the light, to carry it forward, to bear witness to that presence in our life. The late Congressman John Lewis lived a life deeply infused with the love of Christ and radiant with the light of Christ. He lived a life which bore witness to the light which what came to be the light for and of all people. Here are some words from John Lewis about what it means to be the light, to carry the light, to reflect the light, to have the light so deeply within you that you yourself can, in fact, become the light of Christ in the world, a reflection of that word made flesh and shining among us. Lewis writes, "You are a light. You are the light. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Lean toward the whispers of your own heart. Discover the universal truth and follow its dictates. Release the need to hate, to harbor division. Release all bitterness. Hold only love, only peace in your heart, knowing that the battle of good to overcome evil is already won. Choose confrontation wisely, but when it is your time, don't be afraid to stand up, and speak out against injustice. If you follow your truth down the road to peace and the affirmation of love, if you shine like a beacon for all to see, then the poetry of all the great dreamers and philosophers is yours to manifest in a nation, a world, and a beloved community that is finally at peace with itself. The light shines in the darkness. The darkness did not overcome it. We bear witness to that light, radiating from us to light the way in the darkness for all of the beloved children of God. Amen.